Hey everybody, I hope you are staying healthy and well. This chick right here unfortunately did not stay healthy and well after playing a 4 hour gig. My first 4 hour. I know a lot of musicians do those, but that was my first. Hey, what's up? Still recovering from a cough, but we are going to get this interview going. I'm super excited for this episode, you guys. This is another Terrifier cast member. Her name is Samantha, and she's also a director. So this is going to be
I literally was like,
yay
how do I
technology.
get on?
It can it can be tricky sometimes, but I'm so glad to have you on. How are you
Oh,
doing?
I'm good. I'm so glad to be on. I've been excited about doing this. I know we discussed it about a month ago, and finally it's here. So
Absolutely. And even like in your first Terrifier film that you did, I was like so impressed with you. And I remember messaging you, like getting in touch and everything. And so, yes, congrats on everything. And while we have people rolling in, do you go by Sam or Samantha? Just to double check.
anything you want to call me, I literally have never had a preference. So I'm always just like Sam, Samantha, Sammy, anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
buddy. Yep, that's my girl Sam. Lots of
Yeah.
people. So yeah, we
Oh,
here
yes.
speak
Amazing.
a little bit.
Ah, I see now I'm seeing all I have ADD, so I'm seeing all the things popping up. So it's anyway, I'm here. I'm all yours.
All our pals. So the response to Terrifier 2 in theaters was kind of insane. Let's be real. It went like above and beyond, which was incredibly well deserved. So can you drop any hints on Terrifier 3 and give us any insight to how that's going? I know that's like a spicy question right off the bat. And if you cannot elaborate on that, that's
Well, I feel like I kind of know how I can answer that just because we had actually done a horror con in Manchester like right after the premiere and every time people would ask me that question, Damien was sitting like to my left and I would just be like, Damien, what do you have to say about it?
yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure when. I don't have those details, but I do know that the second definitely set up the third, and as David had mentioned, it kind of starts where it ended. So I'm not sure if that will change and all the details, but I do know that at least my character continues to kind of have some sort of life. So sorry if there's anyone on here who hasn't seen the second one, but a little bit of a spoiler.
Spoiler alert to
Yeah.
anything away. Everybody wants to like click on and off. Don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But yeah, I'm definitely super excited to see if there's anything going down with the third one, which, we're pretty sure that there is, as you said. The last scene in Terrifier 2, like after the credits, was a little bit interesting,
Yeah.
in which we're going to that. But tell me, how did filming Terrifier 1 differ from Terrifier 2?
I think I mean, Terrifier 2 is a mammoth of a shoot, and I wish I could say that I was heavily involved in that, but I really only had 2 days. I mean, on the second one, where the first one was very much, we were filming that, and I mean, I don't even remember how many days we had done, but it was overnights and it was
Probably,
ongoing.
yeah.
But no, I think I always have an amazing time working with Damien and the crew. And the second was just as special as the first one, but the first one was definitely, I think, more full on, and there was a lot more to dive into. The second one just kind of felt like it came and went for me, and it was like I got to go act all sorts of crazy and then disappear while everyone else was like, really putting in the time and the effort. So
Yeah,
so
but
yeah.
if you think about it, like, it's just, you are one of art's most, brutal, uh, creations. Should I
Yeah.
say? Yeah.
Fair to say, I think I'm starting to understand that. I'm starting to like understand kind of what happened. Like I've kind of obviously done the work with the character, but I think when experiencing it through the reactions of the fans, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, she's really been through it.
She
Because
went,
yeah,
yeah,
she's been through it. She's still going through it, but for me, it's just like, oh, I'm just like, it's Vicky. Vicky's a badass. Vicky will.
obviously lived through it somehow, some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Yep, so Emily says, go, fiddle, go.
Oh yeah, Emily's one of my best friends.
Awesome. By the way, guys, that I only have about 9 or 10 questions. We will be taking fan questions, more so support questions, friend questions, if you will. There's a questions tab where you can just write them below. We kind of scroll up. So how do you usually get in character for Vicky? Like in the first film, mostly because, as you said, she had like more of an elaborate plot in the first one compared to the second, but she was still a key factor in the second, I would say, just because of the, monstrosity what occurred.
Yeah, no, I think for the first one was it was the toughest, because you're kind of, the first film I was kind of getting into the character and into the world, and I think that was just, I think, difficult because of the complexities of kind of what the character was going through, and obviously losing her sister, and that's all really difficult things to I think face, and to try to embody. The second one, though, I feel like was just kind of easy, because I feel like, and Damien said this, once they put the prosthetic on, I feel like something else took over. And we joked recently that
That's awesome. Yeah, I would imagine with the
my can you hear me? Sorry, my Instagram time limit came on.
Oh, got you. Yeah,
I have a time limit. But okay, to finish that thought, I don't know where I got cut off, but
it was like the prosthetics, and you
yeah,
just didn't even have to really try.
no, and Damien and I joked that like the spirit of Vicky like basically took over, because at that point I just kind of like lost all my shit, and yeah.
Spoiler alert, I can't talk today.
I'm with you, don't worry.
We're both recovering from sickness, and I had like literally 3 shots of espresso in this, and I'm not.
That's amazing. I'm only 1 coffee down. I'm trying to slowly detox off after the crazy 3 months that I've been going through. So.
Somebody told me to switch to sea moss instead of coffee, and I was like, I'm not sure it has the same effect here.
Little by little. I can't, but
yeah. All right.
We'll get through it. We'll get through it. Words will sometimes make sense and sometimes it won't, but we'll get through this.
Here and Communicait. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna kind of jump into, because we're talking about that scary, monstrosity of effects that you had going on, which added a lot to the film. Obviously, after the credits as well. So Terrifier is known to be mostly practical effects, as far as I'm aware, which is epic. It kind of gives that like 80s horror vibe, but better, if you will. So, what you wear is very realistic. After art basically like tears your face apart.
Yeah.
So how long does it usually take you to get in all of that? Is it like in and out, or is it like many hours, 1 hour on top of another?
No, well, the second prosthetic was very different to the first, but they still was like an extensive process. I thought that David was in makeup longer than me, but I feel like Damien just validated when I saw him recently that my makeup took just as long, which was, I want to say, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But even, I would say pushing the 2 hours, just because even if you get the prosthetic on, Damien is like such an artist where he's literally like to a T, like just getting all up in there and like doing every little minor detail.
Like everything on the set.
Yeah.
We interviewed David and Elliot, which they were both fantastic. I mean, you have a really great crew to work with.
They're amazing. Yeah.
It seems like he directs, produces, I mean, I could be wrong, and does the makeup. I mean, he's just so involved. It seems like this is just entirely his creation, and he's like very collaborative with the actors. I think that's just so awesome.
Yeah. No, he's amazing. I mean, everything that's happening, he deserves, and a million times more, because Damien wrote it, he directed it, he produced it, he edited it. He was like even doing sound design. He was even on set doing all of the special effects makeup. But then what I would explain to people is, we're an indie film and we don't have a lot of money and we don't have a lot of crew. So they're already 14, 16-hour days sometimes, just by the fact that we're so small. But Damien was in before everyone, doing 3 hours of makeup for David or me or anyone, or even, Jenna and Catherine when they went through their kind of
Right.
kill scene. So Damien has like help, but it's really just him and one other person, and he's doing everything. And so we joked at this horror con. We're like, "Oh, what would you want to get in the third film?" And I basically said, "Damien needs an assistant. You know, he would. I want Damien to have like an actual assistant and an actual whole like special effects, you know, department because." He just literally, I mean, so if we had 16-hour shooting days, he was doing like 20,
Wow.
24, sometimes 26-hour days just to get through and get everything done. So he's literally like one of the most hardworking, amazing people I've ever known. He's very inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, just even his devotion to the project is very, very clear. And that just translates. It's just, you can tell how much was really put into this. And maybe we can, you know, speak that into existence a little bit. Like, Dave get an assistant
I think he's gonna
in a
be fine
box
now.
tree.
I'm very hopeful, and I feel very positive that he's gonna be just fine now. But it took him how many years of blood, sweat, and tears to get this far. But yeah, he's amazing. I can't speak enough about him. But
Yeah, shout out to Damien for
yeah.
sure. And thank you for also showcasing these wonderful actors such as Sam. So, but also aside acting, though, you are a director, a prolific director, that is.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Smuggler, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that right. It's in all caps.
Yeah, Smuggler. Yeah.
This is a film, TV, theater, commercial, and music video production company, which is super exciting. And you guys have a roster of acclaimed directors that you represent. So tell me a little bit about this and what others can know if they want to get involved.
Yeah. So ironically, how I got with Smuggler was I was acting and producing for about a decade in New York. And in that time, I had done Terrifier. But
Mm-hmm.
then on the side, I was also kind of writing my own projects and producing. And then one day I decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to direct. So I directed a PSA for domestic violence. I had done a little documentary at the Women's March on Washington. And then the third thing I did was this music video for this band. And then when that finally got released, Smuggler had seen it, which was by like weird social media, like, you know, a friend of this. And it got in the hands of the people at Smuggler, and then they saw it and were really impressed, called me in for an interview, and then the rest is kind of history with my directing career, because basically once Smuggler got involved, I was like, well, there's no way I can't not go on this road, because I mean, they're one of the biggest commercial production companies, but their roster is like a lot of people that I admire. And so yeah, so it's kind of, that's how I got into directing. And now I'm represented by them commercially, and then I'm making kind of my side projects to kind of go into the narrative world myself as a director. So it's pretty exciting, and also the beginning. So
Yeah, that's so incredible. I think one of the most inspiring things about you is that you use your directing for good too. Like you use your voice, and people definitely pick up on that. So congrats on all of your directing work, and I'm sure you've made a bunch of incredible connections as well. Somebody says Sam, Slay, and all.
I know I'm trying not to look down just because I like want to acknowledge every little thing, but I'm so ADD that I'm like trying to focus on you, and then I see all the, yeah, this is.
Oh, girl, I'm exactly the same. So I'm like trying to show love, but at the same time, girl, like, you know, she's so
It's too much. I'm too ADD. I can't. I don't know how to
but
function with more than
Vicky,
one thing happening.
Vicky Hayes' wife tuned in and said in all caps, Vicky was the best final girl.
Oh, appreciate
Oh,
that.
yeah, we
Oh, Manny Manchester. I just saw that. Yeah,
appreciate
Manchester.
that. Art the Clown cosplayer says, Cait looks like she gonna fall asleep. I'm sorry, y'all. This eye literally goes like,
You don't look like you look refreshed. I look like I'm like half asleep and half dead right now. I'm like, I
I
literally have this ring light that I've never used before in this capacity, and I'm like just trying to blast myself to stay awake.
ever had COVID? I'm just curious. Like, did you fall victim to COVID?
Yeah, I definitely have tested positive officially once, and then
Yeah.
I've definitely had it over the 3 years. I think just by losing the sense of smell and taste, where you can assume that you've gotten it, but it's not
Yeah.
fun, and it definitely weighs on the body over time.
Yeah, that's all I had was loss of smell and taste. But then I realized, like, down the road, I started getting this, like, severe brain fog, like, in
Yep.
addition with, like, the nerve pain meds I take. So, like, COVID, that's, like, the worst thing about it, I think, like, the brain fog. Sometimes it makes me look a little, but I promise, I mean,
You look gorgeous. What are you talking about?
we,
I'm like,
we
I'm
left
like, tell me what your secret is, because I feel like I'm half
no
dead right now.
wearing, like, any makeup. You look gorgeous. Look like a Disney princess.
Like a mother of a Disney princess. I feel like that's right.
All right, we got to talk about other directors, I think, because, like I said, your network must be insane. So, who are some fellow directors that you've come across that have really blown your mind that you would like to shout out? Like any projects that you've seen that have made you go, wow, this is really, really neat.
In terms of directors I've always admired from afar, type of thing,
Yeah,
or
even
okay, yeah, yeah.
that in
Like
person.
even or people that have passed on. Like, are we talking that type of like who inspires me directors or like present day?
Yeah,
Okay,
literally any directors that have like blown.
influenced me. Yeah, I'm a huge Cassavetes fan. John Cassavetes. He obviously he passed on a while back, but he there was this film called, it was a documentary that was in the Criterion collection called The Constant Forge, and it just is like my filmmaking bible of like using art to kind of ask the bigger questions in regard to our experience in the world, and then just the community in which he created with fellow artists, and how they all were like created this community and continued to just keep doing the work. So he's a major director. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. I mean, I just watched There Will Be Blood again the other day, and that was almost a perfect movie. Um, oh God, there's just like so many that I love. Bergman. I'm like trying to, and then I like, Denis Villeneuve, who's present day, Derek Cianfrance. There's like, I could literally just make a list. There's so many, but
I'm all down too.
yeah, yeah. And I'm also like a big fan of like my friends who are directors, because I have a lot of really good friends who are just because we're all kind of roughly around the same age, so we're like newer in our careers, but like who I'm really excited by and who I know are gonna just go and kind of just wow the world just in the next couple of years. So
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of up and comers, and I love to see the like independent filmmakers kind of
mhm.
come and blowing up. It's always so wholesome to see. And always
Yeah,
I feel like the best films sometimes are a bit more under the radar. And then when people start finding them, it kind of catches on fire and it's this big
yeah.
phenomenon. I think Terrifier is kind of going to be something like that. I'm confident that the next one is going to be in theaters too. And
I feel like it definitely will be after how they did in the box office, because
oh,
I feel like if anything, that just I mean, it's I I don't, what do I know? But I'm like, what they did. I'm still processing kind of how far it went, but I had to keep asking friends like, what's going on? Like, is this a big deal? And they're like, yeah, like I think it made over 10 million at the box office.
yeah,
Kind of crazy, which is kind of crazy for like a non-rated mega slasher, as they're terming it. So,
gory, like one of the goriest things
mhm.
that a human might see in theaters. I
Yeah,
am say.
yeah,
So I only have one more question, you guys. I see there are 5 questions in the questions.
nice.
If anybody would like to ask Sam anything, just type it right here. We will be skimming on through. So, for anybody who might be scared or nervous to go to auditions, what words of encouragement would you really have for them to get themselves out there more? And what are auditions like?
Oof.
Things. I remember Elliot saying that for some of it, he just had to send in clips of him screaming, and that was the final thing
Yeah, yeah.
they had. So,
Well, I feel like I used to, when I was acting, it was like it's an opportunity to act, like all those really beautiful sentiments. But I think the advice that I can give now that I'm directing is that literally you can only go in and do the best that you can do, because there are so many factors that have nothing to do with whether you're worthy or good, because you're already, if you've made it in the room, you're already good and you're already worthy. there are so many things in which you can't control. Whether it's like literally like looking like the mother who's already been cast, or the producer wants this specific type of thing, and so like you really have no control when it comes to those rooms. All you could do is just go in and just, it's an opportunity to act and to give everything that you have, but also like don't take it too personally or too seriously, because I mean, even to this day I'm still acting and I'm still auditioning, and just knowing that like it's completely out of my hands, and knowing that it could be all these factors that have nothing to do with my own self-worth or my own talent as an actor, knowing that kind of frees me of any of that other stuff that gets in the way when I'm actually acting. So yeah, I also, one thing that someone told me a long time ago, which is true, it's people come in and out of the careers, but the people who endure and keep working and keep like I said, just endure is the best word. Eventually you get work, and work begets work, and work begets work, but it takes a lot of endurance to survive in this industry. So
Oh, sure, yeah. Like I feel like you have so many more roles coming as well. And like you said, just taking every opportunity you can, building role after role. That's just really important. I mean, the most that I've ever done is be a hand double for
that's
some
great.
car.
That's not easy. That's not easy at all.
Losing the cut because the lead actress ended up being so good on guitar that they were like, actually, we don't really need you, but thanks for being here. And I was there for like a week, like learning the songs and everything. But it was like a brilliant experience. So just like
Yeah, I was gonna say, you must have learned so much just by doing that and just being there, which is really awesome. And then met people too, which is all part of it.
yeah, I got to have my nails painted. It was
Ooh,
nice. It
love
was
that.
nice. Yeah, right. Love that. Love that for me.
I
Right.
mean, honestly, I need to get my nails done, so I'm like, that sounds like a good opportunity to have
Right.
someone else get my nails done for me.
Like, yeah. All right. I did see a question a little bit further up, so I am scrolling. It's from Ruffman72. He goes, Samantha, do you have any convention signings in Michigan planned? I need to add you to my Terrifier collection.
Oh, I don't anytime soon. I know that I'm in Atlanta in January, and then I think there's another one that's further ahead in the summer. But I'm sure if they come up or they ask for me, then I would love to do it in Michigan. I haven't been to Michigan yet for a signing. I've been to the state of Michigan, but I haven't gone for a signing. So that would be amazing to meet
Now,
people out there.
kind of like sneak that on the list.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, getting a lot of sweet comments. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys. Peter asks, will you be coming to Manchester at some point?
Oh, I love Manchester. Yeah, I had so much fun meeting everyone out there. And I think, I mean, if they ask for us back, I would love that. Definitely. Any
Yeah.
excuse to fly to London again and then take the train to Manchester.
Art the Clown's wife says, what inspired you to act? I love you so much, by the way.
Oh, I love you. I know. I know who that is. Yeah, what inspired me to act? I think there's something always in me. I don't have that story where it was like the one thing that one time made me realize there's always something that just drew me to acting. And I think I got very lucky because there were opportunities in high school or middle school where I had a teacher who knew of this acting camp, and it was called Stage Door Manor, and it's in the Catskills.
Mm,
And so I went one summer, and that was like my first taste of acting. And when I met fellow artists, which I think once you're exposed to other people who are just as artistic and crazy like you can't get enough of it. So I kind of always weirdly was drawn to it. And then I had the Stage Door Manor experience. And then, I went to college for business because I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing. Um, but yeah, but I took a class in theater, and I absolutely loved it. And it kept coming to me. But I don't have family in the entertainment industry, and I don't have any like direct connections to that world. So it felt really foreign and almost impossible. I just didn't know how to go about it. But weirdly, opportunities came, and I just kept taking them. And And then when I went to New York City, so I didn't, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like a slow pull in,
Yeah,
roping me into this
towards
world. Yeah.
towards your dream there. And that's really cool. You didn't really put too much pressure on yourself to figure it out. You kind of just let life carry the way, and then here you are. I
Yeah.
think that's of life. It's kind of like somewhere in between with me. But that's you have a good path there.
I'm just like, you know what? In 3 years of my life has been so amazing in the way that I'm exactly where I never thought I'd be, which is kind of weird. Like, I think my idea of where I'd be now was a limit to where I am. And so I'm just like, who knows where I'll be in 2 years?
And
Am I acting? Am I directing? Or am I on a farm somewhere? Like, I'm just
yeah,
open to wherever life brings me, as long as it feels, right for me. So,
yeah. Awesome. That's super cool. I keep mispronouncing your username, so I do apologize. I think it's Nick with just H says, I love you too. Trees and Ink says, on the topic of endurance, what advice would you give to stay strong during times of turbulence? I like that question a lot. I
mm,
really do. And I
yeah,
also,
that's a really beautiful question.
yeah,
Yeah.
side note, I also love that you have a business degree because you can literally do anything. Yeah.
It helps. It helps to manage the chaos of my own self. So it definitely has helped in the art. In the art, like I'm like, okay, I got to get up. I got to do this between this hour and this hour. But to answer that question, I it's hard. It's hard because life can be really difficult and there's a lot of suffering. But to know that a lot of how I've overcome stuff is just telling myself that I'm strong, that I won't be defined by what's been done to me, that and that I that we all can to some degree have um, a choice to kind of either think of whatever event has happened to you in a negative light or a positive light.
Mhm.
And it's so easy to kind of go left or right with that. And for me, I've always tried, and I'm really thankful because I've been really privileged to have parents that have kind of enforced that, enforced love and instilled confidence in me.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm very lucky to have that foundation, and I think that that's what maybe always helped me to turn right towards positivity. But that you're never alone, and there are people that are going through it as well, and surround yourself with amazing people who can build you up, because you deserve that, and everyone's deserving of that. Um, and 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 that there's like that it's this too shall pass. When things are good, this too shall pass, and that reminds you to like be really grateful for what you have in that moment. But also when it's a bad time, this too shall pass. It goes both ways. Like it will pass, and you know. So that's I think there's so many. I'm like that question I want to
I
answer
love
for
that.
3 hours, but to know that you're not alone in that. A lot of people are also going through hard times, and we just are so good at masking that. So to connect and to find people worthy of you and to be worthy of them is I think a really challenging but beautiful thing to. So I hope I
That
answered that.
yeah, that was a very cool answer. That was like so in depth too.
I'm
I,
like my brain's like still like weirdly coming down from the past 3 months, so I'm hoping that made sense because I want it to be useful. But
yes. Vicky Hayes' wife asks. Oh, I'm losing the questions. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm trying to keep up. We're going to take maybe 3 or 4 more, so definitely send them in. And she supports all of your goals and dreams. It is clear, it is evident. So if you're coming from my page by any chance, definitely go and follow Sam. So yes, Vicky Hayes' wife says, I have a question. If Vicky comes back in the third movie, um, I'm not really understanding this question. She says with art makeup, art makeup,
um,
maybe.
I I think well, Vicky does come back in the third. So that was a question, maybe. But second would be if I'm gonna try to answer it.
Yeah.
I imagine she'd still be the way that she's always been, um, in terms of her prosthetics and her makeup. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have much more information to give you. I have ideas, but I don't know if they're true,
Yeah.
and also I'll let them come from Damien's mouth.
Yeah, I feel like Vicky is kind of possessed, right? She's like this. She's got this like split thing going on. I feel like half of her is like trying to be normal in this institution, and then she just kind of gets possessed sometimes and kills.
Yeah, I think there's
Well,
a level of like a descent into madness is what I like to think it is. I mean, I don't know. Damien may have a different idea for it, but as I justify it is that she's been through so many traumatic things that there's
mm-hmm.
kind of a point in which she's losing reality. But I think what I hope happens is that even though there's a descent into madness, um, there's still a part of her that exists that's still Vicky before all of it, you know, and Vicky with Tara and all that. And I hope that there's that light that still exists in her even underneath all the darkness. But we'll see. I mean, it's Damien. We'll see what Damien writes for her. But
Yeah, it's like, I wonder what would happen if she got like plastic surgery, if that would even work for her. Can she see? I mean, she does have that. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like bulging though.
she has like one eye that she can see out of. I think I can see less than the character actually sees it in real life. Like me as Sam playing Vicky, I can't see shit. But excuse me,
Yeah.
but I think she can see out of one eye. She has one eye.
Okay, so she has one eye. I mean, I feel like in real life, hopefully she'd get a glass eye and get nose reconstruction and
You know what? Or just embrace where she's at and just she is beautiful and you know she's overcome. She could do a few workshops and help people other, you know, help people through her own experience. Who knows?
yeah.
There could be life after all this for Vicky. Who knows?
That's true. She could like go to workshops, tour around the schools.
God. She
And
would not be allowed in. Oh, poor Vicky.
five, you guys. We hope so. I do see
Mm-hmm.
one in the questions box. Let's see. I feel like they're kind of at the bottom sometimes. Somebody's asking about South Wales, Art the Clown's wife, for a horror con, and she'd love to meet you in the UK.
Listen, I'm always trying to take trips. I'm always trying. So I'm like, all they have to do is ask, and I will
Yeah,
definitely, 100%. I've never been to Wales, so I would love that.
yeah. They stay hydrated. Thank you for looking after us. We do. I'm not listening. I have this horrible. I don't know why this voice today, but it is.
Listen, I feel like this is more of a prop than anything because usually I don't drink this much water in a day, so I definitely need to stay hydrated.
What
But
kind of?
I think it's just sparkling. It's like a Saratoga. I just got it at the store down the street and was like, I'm just gonna keep grabbing this randomly when I get semi anxious. I'll just have something to physically do during this.
Very cool. Well, that actually concludes my questions. And yes, I think we are done with the audience questions too. We got a lot of them in there saying hello to all of you, and I made some new friends too. So thank
Mm.
you. Definitely appreciate. We are looking forward to Terrifier 3 for sure, and all of your other projects you're directing. So yeah, is there like any last thing you want to say regarding upcoming stuff, and where people can find you, etc.? Because you're
Yeah,
definitely play.
well, I will say I'm on Instagram, even though, as you have discovered earlier, there's a time limit on my Instagram, so I'm not really
Yep.
as active as I am or should be.
That's
Maybe should be.
okay.
Yeah. But
Have that.
yeah, but so mainly Instagram. I have a Twitter, but I barely don't. I just repost once in a while when a film I've done goes out there. There is a TikTok that uses the same handle as my Instagram. That's not mine.
No.
So just saying that I have a TikTok that I
Gotcha.
randomly just created recently to see a video that got posted of me recently. So I just to like check that out. But it's not the Scaffidi. So whoever that is, it's not me. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, Instagram's kind of where I share all my work. So I have 3 films in post right now that I'm currently editing and going to put out into the world next year.
Oh my
So yeah,
God.
yeah.
So
So yeah,
definitely a chunk of projects. I'm so
yeah.
excited. Are they gonna like be at film festivals? are any of them like coming to New York? Because I'm in New York. I would love to
Oh my
go
God,
see.
yes. No, one of them is a music video. So it's a really good friend of mine who we just did a music video for her. So hopefully that will get released in the new year. And then that will be online probably. And then the other two are short films, which I'd like for them to go to festivals. It just depends on how it pans out and where the best life is for it. So still
Cool.
figuring that out. We literally just wrapped on both those short films. So I finally just got back to New York and I'm like, all right, now I have to like get this done, figure it all out.
Very cool. Well, I am definitely looking forward. Stay tuned with her, you guys, for sure. And yeah, I hope you have a swell snazzy day.
Oh, yes. And thank you for having me. This is so much fun. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
like literally
amazing.
have new stuff that you want to promote, like hit me up. I'm here. I'm chat to be awkward, and
Not awkward at all. You're
I
awake, you have energy, you're a beautiful person inside and out. This was
am.
absolutely wonderful.
Yes, though I like being the hype person. You know, gotta lift people up. I'm also forward to David's the Mean One film with the Grinch.
Oh, yeah. That's coming out, right? Or is it out?
I don't think it's out yet, but it's gonna
Okay.
be, and he's like gonna be a like the slasher version of the Grinch.
That I would love to see. So I can't wait till it's out. I'll have to annoy him and ask when it comes out. But
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Well, have a great day.
well, you
Talk,
too. Thanks, Kate. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
sending love. Bye.